Social justice movement of 2020 put a new focus on police accountability, leading to what experts say are more frequent criminal charges against police officers.
The murder trial of Austin police officer Christopher Taylor ended in a mistrial last week after the jury could not agree to a unanimous verdict. The trial placed a new emphasis locally and beyond on the prosecution of police officers.
Tonight, KVUE Defenders senior reporter Tony Plohetski examines what's happened in high-profile police shooting cases across Texas once they go to the jury.
Nearly 1 year ago, inside a Tarrant County courtroom, a guilty verdict for Fort Worth police officer Aaron Dean and a nearly 12-year sentence for murder. In 2019, Dean shot and killed a Tatiana Jefferson inside her mother's home after prosecutors say he ordered her to drop a gun, then instantly fired.
Put your hands up! Show me your hands!
Months later, in a Houston courtroom, a Harris County jury acquitted Officer Juan de la Cruz in the death of Pamela Turner, a woman he was trying to arrest on outstanding warrants. He says he fired after she grabbed his taser and used it on him. Two different results when two controversial police shootings went to trial in Texas.
No group or organization tracks how often a lethal on-duty shooting goes to trial in Texas. But the KVUE Defenders consulted with police watchdog groups and police unions and identified 7 such cases in the past 5 years. Among them, most resulted in acquittals.
In 2018, a Dallas jury convicted a Balch Springs officer in the shooting death of a 15-year-old and sentenced him to a decade in prison. The other 4 cases that have gone to trial include that of a Temple police officer last year that resulted in a not guilty verdict. They also include a former Burnett police officer who was acquitted on a murder charge, but the jury deadlocked on a manslaughter charge. The DA tells the defenders that prosecutors plan to retry it. The other cases include that of a Wolf City police officer who shot a man outside a convenience store, and an Arlington officer who shot and killed a woman while attempting to shoot a dog. Experts say in the 3 years since protesters poured into the streets across the nation, prosecutors still face hurdles in convicting police officers. Jennifer Lauren is a University of Texas law school professor who has worked in police accountability.
It's almost guaranteed to be some set of facts that the defense would use to support an assertion that the use of force was justified in some way.
The issue of self-defense may be one of the biggest hurdles for prosecutors, but they also have the challenge that key witnesses are usually fellow officers of the defendant who either saw what happened or investigated the case. Kate Levine is a New York law professor who studies police prosecutions.
Certainly, you often are going to have other police officers willing to testify in favor of their sort of brothers or sisters on the job.
There's almost a sense in some of these cases that the witnesses that the prosecution has to use are, in a sense, adverse to them, even though they're the ones with the relevant knowledge.
What's uncertain in the aftermath of the social justice movement of 2020 is the issue of juror sentiment toward officers. Traditionally, experts believe jurors could be more sympathetic toward police officer defendants. Levine says that may be changing.
It's really hard to imagine that anyone living in America today is not more informed about the complicated and nuanced role that policing plays in our society than they were 10 years ago.
For the KVUE Defenders, Tony Plohetski, KVUE News.